Hello, monkeys!
Quit whispering in my ear, bro!
Now I'm sure we've all seen Sonic's iconic shoes countless times with their gold buckles, white straps, and red color. However, as it turns out, you may have been seeing them wrong this entire time, as these parts here are not Sonic's socks poking out of them, but they are actually the tops of his boots. Confirmed not once but twice by Naoto Oshima, Sonic's shoes aren't even shoes at all, they were boots the entire time. Good luck trying to unsee that now.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
In Sonic Boom Season 2 Episode 28, there's actually a reference to The Simpsons. Okay, now saying that out loud, that's not really surprising, but in Robots in the Sky Part 3, when the robots take Sonic and Tails to Hypnobot, one of them says this.
Sir, we found these two surface dwellers loitering in Sector 7G.
Which is of course a reference to the running joke between Smithers and Mr. Burns.
Why is that man in pink?
Oh, that's Homer Simpson, sir. He's one of your boobs from Sector 7G.
Simpson, eh?
What was New Goblin doing on the anime shelf?
In 2020, for promotion for the Sonic movie, only in Hong Kong, Paramount teamed up with the internet company Netgear, in which if you purchase certain Netgear products that look like Kylo Ren shipped during the promotion, you would receive not one, but 2 tickets to see Sonic on the big screen. These advertisements from the time are kind of a spectacle now, considering that one legit just uses the OG Sonic because, I don't know, they felt like it that morning.
Did you know it's actually possible to access an Avatar stage and a Sonic stage in Sonic Forces? If you do a boost jump at this specific spot in Sunset Heights and get it just right, you can actually make it to the beginning of the Avatar's Park Avenue. There's not all too much to do here, though you can boost up this wall here, which is kind of fun. And there is some wonky collision. I mean, hey, at least it's some reason to play Sonic Forces in the year 2022, I guess. And by the way, thanks to Sonic Apocalypse Gaming for this gameplay, since I wasn't about to use 17 gigabytes to record one goddamn level.
There's a decent chance you've probably heard of the YouTube channel Preston Plays, considering his size and massive view counts. But did you notice that he actually made a cameo in Sonic Movie 2? In the volleyball scene, he's one of the guys on Tom's team that gets absolutely destroyed by Randall's squad. It's a nice little Easter egg and all, but he actually got to make an entire behind-the-scenes video on it, filmed in Hawaii. It's got a ton of cool stuff in it, like appearances from all of the main actors, including James and Ben as Sonic voices. It's really cool they went this all out for a 2-second little Easter egg.
My name is Walter Hartwell White.
As we all know, Sonic made his grandiose appearance in the film Wreck-It Ralph, where it was of course the glue that held that entire film together, but anyway, when Ralph walks out of Pac-Man, Sonic talks on the monitor, telling about how if you die outside your own game, you die forever. But have you ever noticed just something off about him here? Well, you should, because they forgot to give him his eye shines. Good luck trying to unsee that one too. Well, this is a horrific oversight, and I'll never forgive Disney for it, or at least they fixed it in a sequel. They got it right on the poster. How do they f this up?
You can't hurt my feelings if I'm in on the joke!
Now, we all know that game journalists are high class, respected, and are always looked to for video game news, which is why it was an extreme surprise when in 2015, when Sega announced they wouldn't be having a booth at that year's E3, IGN posted a video about it. But the thing is, the thumbnail was random Sonic assets thrown together, including this fan-made piece of classic Knuckles art. Absolutely disgusting.
Henderson.
On the very limited E3 2018 Super Shadow Funko Pop, there was a slight color error. Well, kinda. Since while on the actual figure nothing's wrong, but on the promotional art, if you look at Shadow's ears on the figure, they actually made them red instead of the normal tan. Why this happened only on the digital render is anyone's guess, but at least they fixed it before it came out and became a holy grail.
Trampoline! Trampoline!
He said what now?
While First 4 Figures made this classic Metal Sonic statue back in 2012, they were actually planning on making a modern one not too long ago. On Christmas Day 2018, First 4 Figures made a Facebook poll asking what pose people wanted more for their, at that point in production, modern Metal Sonic statue. The post included these 2 pieces of concept art that showed what it would have looked like, and looking at it here, it definitely would have fit in right with the other modern statues they've done. However, since then, we haven't gotten any more info regarding it, since it probably got cancelled, as while the highest vote was for option B of the design, the second highest vote was for them to just not make one at all. Very sad.
In one of my personal favorite games, VR Chat, a recurring event is held in Japan called Virtual Market, in which companies sponsor the event and create booths you can walk in and buy some in-game items while they promote their products. And in the 4th one in 2020, Sega was in attendance, with their 60th anniversary booth as shown. In it, you could have purchased game avatars of characters from Virtual Fighter and Space Channel 5, as well as being given a free virtual t-shirt. I don't really know if this counts as a Sonic fact per se, but there was this giant Sonic model outside, and inside had an Olympic track a la Mario and Sonic 2020, so Yeah.
100% chance of thunder. Gazooga. Gazooga.
When Sonic Lost World released nearly a decade ago, Sega did only the most rational promotion for the game. Of course, printable cutout Zeddy masks, you've got all 6 of them, ready to be cut out and placed on your face. No longer will you have sleepless nights looking up at the stars wondering if you'll be able to have Zaman on your face, cause if you want to, all 6 are linked in the description below.
Now the Adventure Era was a pretty experimental time for Sonic's design, mainly in the way of translating into 3D, which led to many odd-looking Sonic renders from various culprits, but I don't think any take the cake quite like this one, found in an old magazine from when SA2 came out. Meanwhile, editing this, apparently it was from the UK's Dreamcast magazine, issue 14. Funko Pop. This lad is truly magical. Whether it be his 4 fingers, his long-ass back spikes, or his Sunday paper looking head proportions, this man just hits different. I know Jax has been doing some pretty crazy characters recently, but I mean, come on. We need this guy in there with all the others. He deserves recognition for all he's done for this country.
Hey, Goob, wanna come over to my house today?
They all hated me.
In mid-2014, Sega started a weekly social media event called Travel Tuesdays, in which you were tasked with taking pictures of some kind of Sonic, whether it be a plush, a figure, etc., at various landmarks around the world. It's such a simple but fun idea, and these photos were just awesome. We got pictures like the 5-inch Jazzware Sonic in France, the 3-inch one in Australia, the Jazzware Sonic in Monaco, the Jazzware Sonic in Monaco, I don't know how to fucking pronounce that, the Sonic Nendroid in Belarus, and many more. They obviously don't do it anymore, but it was just such a cool little thing that was so cool to see back then. Who knows, maybe they'll bring it back someday. But even if it doesn't, we've at least still got Travel Sonic.
Is there a knife in my dick?
There's a knife in your dick, yes.
While everyone out here loving the new Jax Sonic Advent Calendar, only the true Chads prefer the 2008 Advent Calendar. Released as a promotional item slash freebie for game stores and their viewers, it isn't all too special, simply having little chocolates inside, which I can only hope were little Sonic heads or something, and the box for this one's pretty nice looking. It's not all too crazy, with a simple starry Christmas sky and some Christmas Sonic art. Just a neat little obscure thing that I thought was cool, not really much else.
Here, how about you cease this bitch crying?
In 2019, during a preview event in the UK for Team Sonic Racing, several tournaments in the game were held. And the cool part is that they actually gave away awards to the winners. If you beat others in certain categories, you were given these super sick trophies as a reward. They're pretty small, but have these super nice golden plaques on them with the reason you won on them. But atop those sat a huge green chaos symbol. It's extremely high quality, and it sits upon a clear stand, and it just looks so cool. We could only manage to find 2 of these out in the wild, with the first being owned by games journalist Greg Burke, who got first place and was given his, and out of all people, Ant Dude, who was the fastest racer at this event, scoring him his. These are just so cool. Hopefully more can be found in the future.
Okay, get in.
In the Has Been pilot, before Charlie goes on the news, there's this promo image that they show on the screen. But if you look closely at her hair in this, you'll notice she actually has 2 hair ties rather than the one she normally has. It's kind of funny since, while this is a pretty minuscule thing and it really doesn't matter in the slightest, it kind of foreshadowed her redesign, which I think is pretty neat.
Break it down. What are you kidding me? This is hand-carved mahogany.
For the Jax Sonic 2 4-inch figures, the Sonic and Knuckles both come with snowboards from the fight scene in Siberia. However, if you look at them, you'll realize that in reality, they look nothing like they do in the movie, considering they actually used pieces from the Badniks to snowboard. These are actually from this piece of concept art, which you can see they are both using the ones that came with the figurines.
No! You have a perfect civilization! Why would you want to add a woman to it?
For some reason, because Sega hates reasonable thinking, they decided to make this dope-ass limited edition Sonic Forces themed PS4 when the game came out. It's incredibly sick, with the game's logo alongside the outline art of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. And the controller was decked out with the Resistance Star and the Eggman Empire's logo too. They even made 2 versions, a black one and a white one. However, the catch with this thing though, is that it was only available in mainland China. They made this whole thing looking dope as hell in 2 versions for an awful game only in China. That is the most Sega sentence anyone's ever said.
Alright, whose joke idea was it to order a pizza?
If you're this far in the Chad Bulbasquirtle's video, you'll definitely know about this little guy right here, the Jazzwares E3 promotional White Wisp plush. Made by Jazzwares and thought to have only been given out once in E3 2010 as a promotional gift for testing out the original Sonic colors for the Wii, this plush is decently rare nowadays. But here's a useless fact regarding it. Did you know there was not 1, not 2, but 3 total chances throughout the 2010 year to pick up this guy for yourself? On August 20th, 2010, the official Sega Twitter account tweeted the following tweet. Prize 1, the Ickle Wickle Sonic Colors Wisp from E3. Aw, it's cute! It's yours if you're the 25th person to DM the following key phase. So, if you were specifically lucky person number 25 to DM the tweet about the Ickle Bickle to Sega, congratulations, you just got yourself an official Jazzwares Wisp plush in one of the most obscure possible ways I've ever seen in all of my years of collecting. 2 months after what was thought to have been the only known possible way to obtain this plush. Oh yeah, I know there's only supposed to be 1 fact per slide, but I thought I'd throw it in here anyways. There is an official Sonic Colors candy out there somewhere in the world. Now this is just the surface of some of the history regarding the Jazzwares Wisp plush. If you want to know everything there is possible to know about it, I'll be making a video going over its entire history very soon on my channel.
Ronald Reagan was right.
In 2020, in promotion once again for Sonic 1, Paramount took a road trip to a town by the name of Sterling Heights, Michigan. They did so to do a photo shoot with the movie Sonic mascot, alongside the town's widely known huge sculpture which clearly resembles a giant ring. However, the dubbed name of this monument was at one point the Golden Butthole. So when Sonic came, it was kind of a massive event for the town. Go to the butthole and meet Sonic. There are even many news articles from around the area reporting it, spreading the word of Sonic's butthole appreciation. However, while this monument is very well known, that doesn't mean it's really beloved, considering that some taxpayers weren't too happy that their money was going to a statue that was dubbed the Golden Butthole. So for years there have been many protests concerning the statue, claiming it's inappropriate and childish, or that it looked like a giant golden Sonic ring. And this was years before Sonic came, by the way. It got so bad that one day protesters showed up with signs pointing out the name and Sonic plushes to protest the statue. This was just mental. People showed up protesting Sonic and buttholes. It seems to have worked though, considering that the town officially renamed the statue to the Halo. While that did calm the nerves of the statue's opposers, many felt that they've been robbed of the name Golden Butthole. So things like a Facebook group was created, a Stranger Things trailer parody called Stranger Rings featuring the statue was made, etc. But most importantly, one man named one of the leading figures in the campaign to bring back the name, saw Sonic's arrival as an opportunity for change, so he protested the name while Sonic was there. This man was a true righteous warrior who went out and fought for not just our rights, but butthole rights everywhere. I cannot even fathom the fact that any of this actually happened. Like, first the plushes, and then someone protesting the name Golden Butthole with Sonic there, like, what the hell? This has to be some kind of fever dream.
Dance for us, monkey.
There's so much porn!
Did you know that Sonic canonically supports our nation's great troops? Well, in September 2022, Effingham Magazine, a local magazine for the county of Effingham, Georgia, had a whole issue with a cover drawn by Tracy Yardley and a full-on interview with him. He was given an entire 4-page write-up about his life and work, centering mainly around Sonic. It's pretty interesting, and it talks a lot about him first getting into Archie back in 2006. And I love the page layout, it's really cool. But going back to that cover, it's just pretty nutty. You got Sonic running towards you while he salutes to America, with an ambulance, fire truck, helicopter, and fighter jets in the back with the American flag in the sky. Since the issue is meant to honor the veterans and first responders in Effingham, I don't know about you, but I would never hire an ambulance driver that's currently jumping 5 feet off the ground, the hell. But one question me, and I'm sure you guys have too, is this official? Well, no, I asked Tracy Yardley on Twitter, and he told me that Sega really wouldn't care, and they had zero involvement and weren't even told about this really, which, fair enough. My blood bleeds red, white, and blue!
Can I get a chicken margarita style?
So Kmart, yeah, you know the funny store that went bankrupt and has like -2 stores left? So they still operate on their website, as most stores do, and you can buy Sonic stuff on there. That is if you're King fucking Midas, because these prices are absolutely insane. $54 for Jack's Mecha Sonic, $185 for Jazzwares 5-inch Classic Sonic, $601 for the OG Sonic Funko Pop, and my personal favorite, $421 for Jazzwares 3-inch Shadow. Stonks.
I'm 3.
Here are some old and crusty Tomy Sonic prototypes from the early 90s. These are original wax sculpts that were made in order to make those big boy figures, which make any sane human weep of enjoyment while they see them, but they're just so odd looking. They look so slightly off model, it just looks weird. They're clearly based off these old 2 pieces of artwork from the early 90s, but they look like AI generated versions of them. These were up on eBay in 2019, and I don't think we ever actually found out who bought these, but hey, if you got any info or you own them yourself, I'd love to hear below.
Get out of the head!
Lisa Sonic is real. In The Simpsons comics issue 110, there's this page where it's all the main cast morphed into video game characters. And if you can somehow take your eyes away from Luigi Flanders, you'll find Lisa Sonic in the bottom. Such majesty cannot exist on this plane, we must be dreaming.
No, monkey! Don't be a fool, monkey!
Jack's figures are pretty great, but as we all know, Omega is downright perfection. However, despite this man's godlike status, he actually had a bit of a redesign at one point. The original release of Omega had his eyes colored both gray and black, which is accurate to how he looks in TSR and Forces. However, he was actually updated shortly after this release to have fully black eyes, like what he had in Sonic Heroes. I don't know which I prefer, but I'm sure right now you're all frantically looking at yours to see which version you have. You're welcome.
She's not fit to be a mother. I saw her doing lines of coke in her dressing room.
There's been quite a few Sonic air hockey tables released over the years. Firstly, there's this one, which is probably the most well known, having this piece of 2D Sonic art all across it. Then there's this updated one, which has a render instead, as well as this 4-way one I found, which has Knuckles, Tails, and Amy crammed on it. And plus there's this newer retail one, which allows you to impale your brother's eye socket with your Sonic air hockey disc from the comfort of your own home.
Are you purposely trying to use words that assert your male privilege?
So as it turns out, Sonic movie director Jeff Fowler actually has quite the Sonic collection. He's got some sick posters of the Sonic 2 cast, some mint in box Jax figures, the first 4 figures modern Super Sonic statue, and first 4 figures legit just sent him a brand new Shadow statue just kinda cuz. I mean, man oversaw the creation of Agent Stone, I mean, he deserves it.
I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better.
So considering how Sonic Forces was, it should come as no surprise that they would mess up a completely random thing like give a random character another mouth when it literally does no reason to actually have 2 mouths. Shadow at the end of Sunset Heights has 2 mouths. Of course he does.
I hate it here.
So on the second 2.5-inch Jax Tails figure, they gave him spinning tails so all the neckbeards would have to buy another one. And they did a really good job with this paint and it made it look all blurry like they were actually spinning. Though on a few product images, an early version is shown, which had no such paint effect, being flat orange and looking pretty bad. Man looks like he got banana tails.
There was a misinput. Calm down! You calm the f*** down! There was a misinput!
If you ever wondered how Jax figures are made, then look no further than these. These are some 3D models created to sculpt and print the figures, made by Rafa Knight. They're super high quality and have like 48 bajillion polygons it seems. And if you look closer, you can really tell that these actually became the figures. Like just the slight details that you can't really notice on first glance, but once you see them you can never really unsee it. Such a cool oddity we got to actually see these.
We're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu.
In GTA 5, there's an absolute load of references crammed into the map, however none compared to the jewelry shop known as Super Sonic, with the tagline, the ultra-fast ring dealer, and a gold ring as their logo.
That's right. We're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu.
Cartoon Network has actually used fan-made Sonic renders without permission before. In 2014, one of Nabrockrock's Sonic Boom renders was used on the Cartoon Network website to advertise Sonic Boom. Like, did Sega not give them renders or something? Or did some random intern just Google funny blue handkerchief man into Google and click on the first result? Like, imagine being him in 2014 and finding out they used your render for absolutely no reason. I mean, it must have been pretty flattering, I guess. There was actually a relatively obscure collector's edition bundle for Team Sonic Racing when it came out. Only in Europe and Australia you could get this exclusive version of the game which contained the Sonic Totaku figure. It's Totaku. I always mess up the name, damn it. There's nothing special about the figure itself, it's just a re-release of the original, though it came in a slick new box, which was completely different, not having the bubble card design and instead just being this cube, and had the Totaku logo imprinted on the front. Pretty epic if you ask me.
I swear to God, if I can crossbreed my Miis.
Sega made this poster for Shadow the Hedgehog for their 2005 E3 booth. It's nothing crazy or anything, being the shot where Sonic falls over beneath Shadow. It is somewhat interesting though, since it is a whole wide shot of the frame, and you get to see a lot more of this absolutely iconic moment in gaming history. And as this guy on Reddit once pointed out, it makes for one damn cool wallpaper.
No.
In the trailer for Hello Boss Season 1, one of the shots included is from the at that point unreleased episode, Ozzy's. However, the shot has Blitz being thrown against a wall by Veronica, and he's wearing his usual getup he wears in all the other episodes, but in the actual episode he wears his jacket that he wore to the club. This even happened again in the trailer with the shot where he gets thrown into the dumpster. Rather odd.
I'm a really good lawyer.
There is a Sonic reference in Pony Life. In Season 1, Episode 13, Rainbow Dashel Robert Parr drinks a potion and then her hair goes back behind her head and she gets, like, quills out of her... she has, like, quills on the back of her head and then her legs, they start spinning around in circles and she does a super peel out. the section's over, and now I can never talk about pony life ever again.
Habibi, 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 habibi.
So I was at Dollar Tree a few months ago, and I found something rather interesting. I found the Jones Orange Cream Soda flavor on shelves and available to the masses, which I found rather odd considering that was the flavor their Tails drink was in their extremely limited Sonic Mania promotion. I don't know if this was like a pre-existing flavor before that, or they've released this before, or whatever the deal is. But I guess if you want to know what might have been, you never got a chance to drink these, which I doubt you did. Check Dollar Tree, I guess.
Yeah, take a minute.
Okay, I'm like 80% sure that Sonic showed up in the Muppets movie. There's a scene where this lady shows the Muppets a chart of popular things at the time, including such wonderfully aged things like Justin Bieber. But off to the right side, you can see this dot here, which, I mean, I can't read what it says because the camera's so far away, but like, that's him, right? He's got the muzzle, the eyes, the red swirl for legs. That looks like him. I mean, this was the early 2010s. Sonic probably had enough clout at that point to be recognized, so I mean, it makes sense, I guess. I don't know, this is just so weird.
And that's why we don't have tickets for wrestling, because all you can think about is Benson's crank.
On April 6, 2018, the Sonic Twitter account did a real one when they recreated a scene from Sonic Boom using Tomy figures. They remade the joke where Eggman's on the TV roasting Sonic in 8K using Tomy figures, and it is lit. Also, one of the backgrounds is just like an IRL pic of grass for some reason. I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Damn! Hasbro has technically made Sonic movie merchandise. Let me explain. So, for Sonic 1, Paramount did a bit of recycling with the props. And as it turns out, Eggman's truck he uses throughout the film actually originates from another Paramount film, being Transformers Age of Extinction in 2014. And for the film, they customized a Freightliner Argosy to act as the Transformer Galvatron when he's in car mode. Yup, Eggman drives a goddamn Transformer. But here's the thing, since these movies were so marketed, of course Hasbro made toys based off Galvatron. So technically, Hasbro made a figure of Eggman's truck from the first film. Boom. And I mean, yeah, you could totally repaint this. It looked just like Eggman's truck. Though here's the question we're all really asking here. When is the Sonic Legends line coming out?
You see, I still need you to be my little work monkey.
Everybody wanna be a superstar.
The Wild Cat Sanctuary is a place in Sandstone, Minnesota, which is a non-profit sanctuary for big cats, i.e. tigers, lions, bobcats, etc. However, on their TikTok earlier this year, they posted this video where...
Plus, everyone's needs are catered to inside, just like they are outside. Some cats like to watch TV.
Yeah, so it's canon that the Black Panther's there, King T'Challa himself enjoys watching Sonic Boom. Because of course they do. I mean, I don't blame them, the episode they're watching. I couldn't find the episode number, I tried, okay? But why they put on Sonic Boom of all shows is just astonishing. I guess one of the workers there is just too cultured, I suppose.
Lyle, turn on the TV, they hit the Pentagon!
On the official Jakks Pacific site, they have every wave of Sonic figures listed and information about them and how to buy them. However, for some godforsaken reason, on both waves 4 and 9, they made Tails' nose white. How this happens, I have no clue. I can only assume the unpaid intern tasked with making the cover images was colorblind or something, and deleted his damn nose, making the man unable to smell, and then did it twice. If you click on it, the images of the figure itself are perfectly fine, just this cover image. I don't know, it's just too goofy.
You promised my son that you're going to give him free Robux.
In the recently released masterpiece known as The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, there's actually some neat Easter eggs right as you boot up the game. When given the option to enter your name, if you type in any of the characters in the game, you'll get this message. Like, the Sonic? Wouldn't that be cool? But no. And then if you type anything bad like swear words or something, including things like I killed Sonic, dumbass, and what the hell, you'll get this response. ... I don't think I could show my face around here again if I wrote that. This is obviously so people don't A, confuse themselves while having two characters name the same thing, and 2, delete any like epic swear words. But it's at least neat they put these little special messages here.
What do you want at 2 a.m. the Friday after Thanksgiving?
Sonic is canonically a fan of the Thundermans. We all know the all-time classic Nickelodeon original series, and as you can assume, Sonic is a massive fan, like most other people on Earth. We know this as of January 15th, where Sega posted a video to their TikTok of Sonic getting onto an airplane and going to Hawaii, where for some reason, the legendary theme song is played in the background.
Bet you never guessed, we're living our lives just like all the rest.
Nah, but for real, why did they put the damn Thundermans theme over this random TikTok they made? Like, what does this add? It's not even like the lyrics make sense or anything. They just... Why? They should have used the Salmon Cat theme, though. That was peak.
There's sticks in the walls! Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Did you know that Manscaped, the company that sponsored like every YouTuber ever, I get it, I'm not gonna shave my ball, actually made a Sonic ad. It wasn't official, no shit, but but they made this ad, which is a direct remake of an old ad for Sonic Adventure 2. I'm not gonna read what it says because I like having money on my videos, but just looking at them side by side, it's a very clear remake. What a goof.
My better judgment says call the police, but you are confusing me so much I need to know what's going on.
In American Dad Season 16, Episode 1, titled Who Smarted, Haley breaks up with Jeff and is super depressed, so then Francine comes into her room to cheer her up.
Haley, honey, the ice cream truck just came by. I got you one of those f***ed up Sonic the Hedgehogs.
She gets her a Blue Bunny Sonic bar because what else can make someone happier? But then her new boyfriend, Myron, comes into her room and steals the delectable treat. What a douche. It's kind of funny though because he's voiced by D. Bradley Baker and he's literally just doing the Wrecker voice, so it sounds like Wrecker's just eating a Sonic bar.
Aw, you got a Sonic bar? Gimme!
Hey, how are you doing?
Yes, champ.
No time for a thing. That's the thing right there.
So we all know Mr. B! So as it turns out, the man actually did a short promo ad for Frontiers last year. It was actually pretty cool. He had 4 contestants place 4 hedgehogs in a ring, and the last to leave the red circle netted $10,000 for the person who put them in. And in the circle was a little green hill diorama with the accessory innovation Sonic and Toy Factory Tails plushes leaned up against it. And the whole thing was sponsored by Sega to promote the game. I would very much like to know how much they paid Mr. Beast for this 1-minute TikTok to promote Frontiers. I am extremely curious. I want to know where that Sonic movie money's been going.
I can no longer reach my crack. I repeat!
There's actually an homage to OKKO Let's Be Heroes and IDW Sonic. In issue 48, there's an old man who warns the Chaotix about a sewer monster. And taking a look at his design, he's an almost one-to-one recreation of this dude from the show. This dude named Crinkly Winkly. Why this is here, who knows, but his design was already kind of based off Sonic, having just Sonic shoes but in yellow, and a general Sonic look to him, so it's kind of nutty. Also, thanks to Magenta on the Discord server for this tip. You should go join my Discord, it's really cool.
Put down the pen! Put down the stapler right all over the pig's face!
As we know, Sonic Channel is the greatest source of Sonic content on the universe. Mainly since as of 2019, they've been doing these awesome pieces of artwork that were posted on Sonic's Japanese Twitter. Done by Yuri Karasuno, these depict my favorite type of Sonic material, slice of life and chill pics of the main Sonic cast. And beyond things like having Maria and Shadow taking an exam, Tails in Station Square buying mint candies, or Silver delivering packages to residents of Soliana, there's one thing that these all share in common. In nearly every single one, they've managed to sneak either Big or Froggy in the background somehow. It's super neat and clever. Sometimes he's there, sometimes it's a photo, sometimes it's a Christmas ornament. It's great. These things were already peak enough, but adding these Easter eggs is just fantastic.
I want to put my Jar Jar in the bathtub.
So this dude on YouTube named Andri Dilden, the fact I can pronounce a Japanese name but not that's funny to me, made quite possibly the coolest Sonic custom ever, being this remote control plane as the Tornado. I'm not sure if the plane itself is custom in any way, or it just so happened to already look like the Tornado and it gave him the idea or something, but he strapped the GE Classic Sonic and Tails plushes to it and had it take flight. It's really cool to see, such a simple idea but it goes so hard.
Maybe.
Back in 2020, French TikToker Cyril did a classic video, filling a bathtub with Orbeez to make a super happy fun colors everywhere. However, this man was a smooth brain and did not close the drain before putting them in, which led to the Orbeez inhabiting his entire plumbing system leading down to his entire town. The flooding was so bad to where doo-doo feces was flooding into other people's homes in the town. Man pretty much destroyed his town's water supply with Orbeez. But the reason I'm telling you this is because Sonic Twitter did a Sonic Twitter and made a goofy-odd tweet about the ordeal, being an edited screenshot from Sonic Adventure saying not to put Puyo Puyos in your bathtub. It really do be like that sometimes.
Now go fuck Shamu in the blowhole.
So as it turns out, Sonic has his own batteries. In a year I couldn't find, Sega teamed up with Brazilian electronics company Elgin, or Elgin, Razor Gin, to bring Sonic's mug onto their batteries. Why did they do this? Do you guys expect me to have an answer for these kinds of things anymore? But now Sonic appears on 3 different types of their batteries. The red one, the green one, and the purple one. Not gonna lie, I kinda want these. It'd be really goofy to have when nobody comes over and they ask about my Brazilian Sonic batteries. But the best part of this promotion is now we have an official render of Sonic riding a giant battery, because apparently we needed that.
Yeah! Upgrade me to Jeepers Peepers X Infinity, now!
Stars in the Sky, the credit song for Sonic 2, was of course sung by Kid Cudi. However, the song was originally going to be done by Lil Nas X. Only 20 days after the film came out in the US, an early demo simply called Stars leaked, which had a completely different outro and vocals from Nas. But for whatever reason, I guess he left the project. However, he's still credited in the song, because he actually wrote parts of it. It's kinda crazy how the funny Roblox man who I want them to put in Fortnite had so much to do with this song, but then they just didn't.
Are you Mario?
So I'm sure you've all seen this piece of fan art at least once before. This image is used for all kinds of music compilations on YouTube and such, and for fair reason. The artist, Recco Man, did an absolutely outstanding job. However, it's completely different if you turn the camera just slightly. as because it uses forced perspective, this is what Sonic looks like from the side. It's just really goofy to me how in this awesome pic, Sonic's literally just bugging out hard.
Mordecai, Rigby, watch me hit this new move. I think it's called the Gritty.
So in the Has-Been pilot, we all of course know the iconic scene where after Alistair's reprise, Serpent just blows up a wall, throwing a door into Nifty. However, in the storyboards of the pilot, we actually can see it was originally supposed to be Alistair who gets hit by the door, and I'm honestly kinda glad they changed it, as I think it's way funnier when Nifty gets transported into another dimension.
Hello, my name is Mud. We were expecting you.
In Sonic 2, during the late epic climactic final battle scene, there's actually a pretty goofy animation error. When Eggman fires his laser beams and Sonic leans forward to run towards him, if you look closer, you'll actually see Sonic's arm is completely clipping into his quill. It's so weird how this just kinda exists in a multi-million-dollar production like this. I didn't know Scott Cawthon worked on this movie too.
Well done.
Here's an old canceled McDonald's toy from the Sonic 3 promotion. It was a Sonic that would collapse into a flat ball and roll around. It would have been kinda neat and would have been a cool addition to the set. This just resurfaced in January and we only have this one piece of concept art of it, but I can imagine kids having a lot of fun with this. Y'all realize that next year we'll have 2 different Sonic 3 McDonald's promotions? Evan Stanley, head writer of IDW's Sonic, was reading the 1993 novel Sonic the Hedgehog in the Fourth Dimension. What happens in this book, I don't know and I don't care, but while reading the book, she found what's possibly the very first instance of chaos control being mentioned ever. It's most definitely a coincidence, and seems like it's a completely different thing altogether, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. I like to imagine Shadow was planned from day one.
How long have you been practicing law?
About 7 hours.
In 2004, a Belgian food restaurant known as Quick had a promotion where there were 5 different bobbleheads of video game characters you could get, featuring Ratchet, Spyro, Rayman, Sonic, and Crash. They're surprisingly well made for what they are, and they have these cool bases which are the characters' names spelled out in 3D letters. I'm not sure how big they are because I couldn't really find much on them, but they're such a cool oddity, it'd be really interesting to have now. We all love Super Nanny. However, while she is super and indeed a nanny, she clearly went way too far on one occasion. In Season 4, Episode 4 of the show, she goes through the Tafoya family's video games, to which she singles out none other than Shadow the Hedgehog. She then uses it as an example of how the video games the kids are playing are too violent, and questions them what the E10+ rating really means. Quite frankly, how dare she? Ain't no way someone should have to go without Shadow the Hedgehog for one goddamn day. Quite frankly, how dare you, Super Nanny? You're taking this young man's cultured future and absolutely crushing it, doing nothing but fuel your own ego. I'm gonna be real, I knew about this one for like at least a year, and now I'm really happy I finally get to talk about it. And it's kind of funny because they put electrical tape over the logos and Shadow's face to avoid copyright.
I didn't think I'd see Vegeta here too, but monkeys do travel in troops.
They slaughtered Ratchet! I'm gonna tear them apart!
Did you know Mr. Beast was actually once assaulted by a Sonic ice cream bar? On July 2nd, 2022, he posted the video, "I didn't eat food for 30 days. In the video, he of course only drinks water and tries not to eat any food for a whole month. However, only 45 hours into the challenge, all the boys from the Mr. Beast channel drive an ice cream truck up to the house Jimmy's renting, solely intent on messing him up and trying to get him to lose the challenge. However, it gets to the point where they start throwing ice cream bars at him, eventually breaking a window with a pineapple. But in the final shot of the scene, Jimmy gets a Sonic ice cream bar thrown at him through a doorway. It didn't even have the wrapper on, that was just straight raw. Yeah, screw getting a job and paying bills and crap. My lifelong dream is to eventually find the popsicle stick of the Sonic bar that whacked Mr. Beast in the noggin.
That is one poopy butthole sound.
Well then pressure wash my ass, Chives!
Sonic has 2 different cameos in the Bluey world. Firstly, in the episode Keepy Uppy, Bluey and Bingo are playing in their living room, and if you look very far to the corner, you'll see this drawing on the floor. And I don't know about you, but it looks pretty Sonic-y to me. It's got red shoes, spikes, a tan stomach circle, and even a big old black sniffer. And of course, the people who make Bluey, Ludo Studio, are some of the most based creators in the world, considering they have this wall of artwork that they made of Bluey in their studio in Australia. And alongside stuff like Bluey Chewbacca, is Bluey as the original Sonic movie design, officially making this canon to the Bluey timeline.
Frankly, Quinn, I don't give a crap.
In 2019, Sega teamed up with the UK game retailer, Game, to create a full-access bus that was a promotion for the Sega Mega Drive Mini. In the bus, you could obviously play said console, and not really much else, because I mean, it's a bus, what do you expect? It was still a really cool idea, that's cool that they did. The whole ass bus was wrapped in Mega Drive branding, and had a big ass piece of overused Sonic art on the side of it. Other than that though, there's really not much to talk about, though I do have to say I love this shot from Badminton Mechanics video on the bus, where there's just this empty room full of a couple TVs and this big ass fan just chilling in the back. What a legend it is.
Hello, it's me, your super
So on the back of Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, there's a rather small but goofy error. On the back, they show a screenshot from Angel Island Zone in Sonic 3, however they label it as Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Absolutely disgusting and depraved behavior I cannot endorse, and it's the same on both PlayStation and Xbox. And thanks to MC Wart.io on the Discord for sending me this one.
My father can't give me away because he's dead.
Here's an image from a promotional event at Pizza Hut featuring Sonic. The store in Manurewa, New Zealand, had a promotion with Sega in which they gave away a Sega Master System in 1994. And there was a Sonic mascot there who I guess walked around and took pictures and stuff. It's not really all too crazy, it's just a really goofy outcome. And also, the tweet that brought this back into the limelight actually got a response from Pizza Hut, officially making this event canon to the Pizza Hut cinematic universe. And thanks to Jiracher on Discord for sending me this one.
You have officially lost your status as a black man.
There's a figure of Megatron with Sonic on him. In 2014, Hasbro teamed up with Sega and Sony to release these two Optimus Prime and Megatron figures. But instead of transforming into vehicles or guns, they both transformed into video game consoles, with Optimus transforming into a PlayStation 1 and Megatron turning into a Sega Genesis or a Mega Drive, depending on where you bought it. But the thing is, both the Mega Drive and Genesis came with cartridge slots, as it does, and they both came with a mini cartridge you can put into it, being either the Japanese or American version of Sonic 1. It can be taken right out, resulting in a little tiny mini version of Sonic 1, which is a really cool and neat thing to have, honestly. This whole thing's a concept no one would even think of, but it's so funny and kinda cool, honestly. Why Megatron would ever need to transform into a giant Sega Genesis, I don't know, but we're all here for him. And by the way, there was a third version made that was completely gold. This thing was only limited to 5 pieces, and was given out as a lottery prize to anyone who bought Sega 3D Classics Collection on the 3DS in Japan. But unfortunately they changed the cartridge on this one to bare knuckle, so this is now useless to me.
I'll kill you! I'll kill your whole family!
So you know that iconic April Fool's Day joke Electronic Gaming Monthly played? The one that said in Super Smash Bros. Melee, if you defeat 20 enemies in Cruel Melee, you'll unlock both Sonic and Tails in the game as playable fighters. Well, as you can assume, a lot of people tried it, and some actually succeeded, but then were befuddled on the character select screen not seeing the furry duo. But then, when all hope seemed lost, EGM, the Chads, when flooded with people sending them proof that they actually did it, asking what they did wrong or why they didn't get Sonic and Tails or why their wives left them, it turns out they actually sent those people free copies of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube. What absolute units are they? Imagine some kid sending Electronic Gaming Monthly a letter saying, "Why did you lie to me?" So they send that kid a $60 shrink-wrap video game for free. Good ending achieved.
eBay.
So there's this European commercial for Sonic Generations that's really cringy and kind of stupid, but it takes you for a whirl at the end.
Sonic! In Sonic Generations, sponsors of The Simpsons.
Sonics.
Because it turns out, Sonic Generations is an official sponsor of The Simpsons. As it turns out, Sega Swap Spit with Homie is now a sponsor of the coolest show ever. It all comes to a grand climax at the end, however, where after the earth-shattering announcement, the announcer then takes a bite of the Sonic Generations logo and says,
Sonics.
Truly words to live by in my eyes. And it's goofy because if you think about it, he may be talking about the restaurant Sonic, which is rather humorous to think about.
Dude, this car kicks ass, and I can watch Madagascar while I'm driving.
Lincoln Loud is canon to the Sonic verse. So Nickelodeon has this really weird series on YouTube called Portal Chasers, where it's just pretty stale video game parodies, with Nicktoons characters nobody likes thrown in, plus SpongeBob. They parody such things as Among Us, Subway Surfers, and even goddamn Fortnite. However, in the first episode, they go to a place called Green Slime Zone, and it's clearly supposed to be a spoof of Sonic, obviously, with SpongeBob, Lincoln Loud, Kid Danger, and Ronnie Ann running around and jumping and stuff, then going into a portal to go to the next place. It's nothing that crazy, it'll just be funny to look back at this in 15 years. By the way, I find it funny they've always done these Nicktoons crossover games and specials and stuff, and they have like SpongeBob, Danny Phantom, Timmy Turner, and Jimmy Neutron or something, and they have the same thing now, but all the other guys are gone, but SpongeBob's still there, since SpongeBob's still going. So I like to think that all the other guys died in like some horrific mission accident or something, and now SpongeBob's like sent out to be with all these like B-tier characters no one likes. It's very funny to me.
There goes 10 G's. Oh, nice orange flame.
No!
Did you know that Jet wasn't always intended to be a bird? Here are some concept art pieces from the development of Riders, showing Jet being a more mammal-like character. I can't tell what specifically these animals are, but they definitely aren't any type of bird. But I mean, what an alternate timeline. Like, imagine if the Babylons weren't even Babylons at all. They were just like jackals or something. Also, side note, there's some art here that has Jet with these weird giant feather hand things. They gross me out, and I'm glad they changed them.
You are not to let go of Eric's hand until you are both back on that bus. Do you understand?
Have you ever seen The Queen's Corgi? It's a really crappy animated movie from some studio you've never heard of. and it's quite possibly one of the worst things to ever exist in terms of animation. However, there is one shiny hope at the end of this turd-encrusted tunnel. This film, which is set in the Queen's Castle in England, has Donald Trump. And I shit you not, the person who voices him is Kirk Thornton, the voice of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Worthless. Don't show your pathetic face around me ever again.
An honor to meet you, ma'am. Royal selfie. Cheesesteak.
The same guy who's been voicing him since Generations voiced Donald Trump in this movie, and it's quite possibly the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, you could just watch this movie, close your eyes, and just hear Shadow the Hedgehog talking about Queen Elizabeth and corgis and stuff. At least I assume. I'm not watching the movie to find out. Though obviously this was memed to oblivion, and why wouldn't it be? I mean, this circumstance only happens like, what, every trillion years? I swear to God, this has to be the most out-of-context scene in the history of animation.
Is this delightful little muppet?
That's the First Lady, ma'am.
Why does this movie look like it was made by AI?
I need hungry hippos?
He's busy.
So as we all know, people love stealing other people's artwork on the internet. And with today's modern technological advances, people can now make money off of stealing. With NFTs. However, the line was crossed one day when someone decided to upload Tracy Yardley's artwork and turn it into an NFT. This art was done on paper all the way back in 2006 and depicts a bunch of Hedgehog characters together, dubbing the piece Hedgehog Havoc. And then some bonehead put it up on OpenSea for $11.72. Come on, Woody, you're worth more than that.
We are standing next to Benedict Wong!
In May of 2021, Angry Birds held an event called the Retro Games Tournament. The event included a bunch of really cool recreations of classic game characters and their respective worlds, like Mario, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong. However, one of them was entirely Sonic-based, with a level featuring this big statue of what I assume to be Sonic, though it doesn't really look like it, with 3 special types of pig only featured in this level. This one with Sonic's quills, another one with Eggman's mustache and glasses, and this one that's piss yellow quills that's supposed to be Super Sonic, I guess. Overall, it's pretty neat, all things considered. Also, there's this other Sonic level that's less interesting that I forgot about. That was from another year, I believe, but who cares?
Drink fish clean out!
So there's this place called T-Turtle, which of course sells t-shirts, as the name implies. However, they used to have an entire line of Sonic-themed ones. They're actually really nice looking and have this sort of chibi, but still unique looking style. Usually remaking some sort of game artwork or making a cute little parody. And not gonna lie, some of it slapped pretty hard. Like, they literally have a t-shirt with Chibi Shadow with guns out saying haters gonna hate. Humanity is only downhill from this. Unfortunately though, it seems they've lost the license and won't be producing any Sonic stuff anytime soon. But at least we got this stuff when we did.
Well, we're boned.
On the Vivzy Pop Shark Robot merch store, they actually included one of the A24 designs on accident. Since normally the only designs I'm assuming they're legally allowed to use on merchandise are the Vivzy Pop pilot designs, as opposed to the redesigns which are going to be in the full show, whenever that is. But this keychain of Sir Pentious actually has the goggles that are only present in his A24 design. Since then it's long sold out, / maybe it got taken down, who knows. But it's just a little goofy goof that's only here to be goofy.
Father.
Yes, Butthead Jr. and Butthead Sr.
As it turns out, Archie made a Sonic reference last year. In September of 2022, they released issue 93 of their web series Bite-Sized Archie, in which on the wall in the background you can see a poster for a video game called Cosmo Frontiers, clearly supposed to be some sort of parody of Sonic Frontiers, given how the character is doing the exact same pose Sonic does on the box art. Kinda funny how the company who ran Sonic Comics for over 25 years actually made a reference to it after the fact.
From the kingdom of heaven, please welcome God.
So in case you didn't see it, because I don't think many people saw the movie, 2023's Transformers Rise of the Beast included a Sonic reference. In the film, the main character Noah Diaz has a walkie-talkie in which he uses to communicate with his little brother throughout the film. In the beginning, it's revealed that they both have code names for each other when they're talking on the airways, with Noah's being Sonic and Chris's being Tails. I mean, it makes sense, the movie takes place in 1994. Other than that, though, there's not really much else to say about it. That's another reference to Transformers in the books.
This all gets a stubby little fingers into my wallet.
Someone made a play-by-play Sonic 3DS theme. That is all.
You think they live maybe over here? Or maybe they live over here! Or over here!
I'm sorry, just why do you even care about the french fries?
Do you want to die?
In the Gravity Falls Lost Legends graphic novel, there's a story called Don't Dimension It, where Mabel travels throughout the multiverse and meets different versions of herself and such. And there's this page where Mabel's flying through different universes, to which the one on top's an exact replica of Green Hill Zone, with the only real difference being the Mystery Shack in the background and the Sonic 1 level title card that reads Mystery Shack Zone. Pretty neat.
Hour and 43 minutes. An hour and 43 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Babineau.
So on February 2nd, 2022, police were dispatched to a Florida credit union in DeLand, Florida, in relation to a robbery that had just occurred in the building. However, when they checked the CCTV cameras to see who the culprit was, his face was blocked by a mask, as most criminals are. However, this wasn't just any mask. The suspect was wearing a Sonic the Hedgehog mask. Thankfully, no one was hurt at the scene, but the culprit's images from the security cameras were released online, and it became a frenzy of people going absolutely insane because some guy robbed a bank wearing a Sonic mask. As it turns out, the suspect actually used a hammer. Ain't that some shit? Bro wore the wrong mask. However, it turns out our man left empty-handed, showing that crime doesn't pay unless his payment is the clout he got online. Since this thing was everywhere, people couldn't stop talking about it. There were so many news articles and videos about it. Because, I mean, it's kind of hard to believe. Some guy put the Ruby's Costume Co. Sonic latex face mask on, grabbed a hammer, and then went to go collect some dough GTA style. However, the suspect was never caught, at least from what I can tell, meaning that the Sonic perpetrator is still at large. Hopefully one day justice can be served to the perpetrator of this heinous act against humanity. Hey, what are you in for? Sonic robbery.
Salutations, monkey.
Look, Boss, I can explain. I want you to pee in my food, not spit in it. Wait, what?
So on the Wave 1 Jack-specific Shadow figure, they gave him his metallic gold inhibitor rings, as you'd assume. But for some reason, when it came to Wave 6 Amy, they left her rings completely yellow. I'm assuming that this is either a cost-cutting measure of some sort, or they just up and forgot. But come on, it's pretty jarring when Shadow's fully dripped out, but Amy's hair completely cheaped out. Very strange.
Run for your life! Goofy goober, yeah.
So as it turns out, Sonic Superstars isn't the only recent instance of Feels the Rabbit making a comeback, since in the IDW 30th Anniversary special comic, while Sonic is cruising along the road in his driving exam, you can see an all-too-familiar Rabbit Man in the background. Man is a persistent little bugger.
I'm hiding from my husband. He's trying to kill me.
Where you at, ho?
So in Team Sonic Racing, you know how sometimes the characters will talk to each other during races? And it's general just back and forth banter, and sometimes a reference to some random thing or attribute from the series. However, one of Rouge's lines to Tails is actually very concerning. Shouldn't you be doing something more your speed? Like sitting on a bench, perhaps? You know, I could have gone my whole life without knowing this. I really could have. Why? How did this happen? Who let this happen? How and God, why?
Hello?
Here's some cut characters from Sonic Adventure. Firstly, there's this one simply titled Spider-Girl, who actually does appear in the game on posters in Speed Highway, apparently. I'd say she looks more classic than Adventure era, but she still has a really cool and unique design. And then there's this other guy named Fly the Vampire, who just looks badass. I don't really know what the vampire species entails for Sonic characters. Like maybe he's a vampire bat, but I don't even know. But thanks to Sonic team designer Satoshi Onako, we got full images of the concept art for these guys. And it's really neat to see nowadays. In the 3-part series made by Brandon Rogers, simply titled Bryce, it follows the story of the character with the same name, where she goes from a heartless criminal to a heartless CEO of a mega corporation. It's a very, very funny series, and I'd highly recommend giving it a watch, but the way it relates to use of Sonic facts is that in episode 2 of the show, the set includes a makeshift arcade, and alongside the prize wall, you can see a GE Supersonic plush. And while I guess it'd be more fitting for a Toy Factory or Kelly Toy plush, actually, I'll take what I can get, I suppose, for random Sonic Easter eggs in a YouTube show.
You are not a hurricane! Babu bap bap babu.
So in the cinematic masterpiece known as Diary of a Wimpy Kid The Long Haul, there's a scene towards the beginning where Raleigh is consulting Greg on what he should do about the Cuban Missile Crisis. And in the background on Greg's desk, you can see the Tomy light-up Sonic Boom figure. You know, that really cheap one with the paint that falls off really easy with the light-up feet? Greg out here with that Tomy rep. Oh yeah, you can also see a Yarn Yoshi amiibo in the background, but that's unrelated.
Welcome to McDonald's. How can I help you today?
Yeah, you can start by taking them panties off.
So over at PAX West 2023, epic FNAF at Freddy Night cosplayer DaRegular Sauce was walking around in his incredible glam rock Freddy suit. However, something a lot of people may not know is that he actually met with the official Sonic mascot costume, and given how this Freddy suit has pretty much become official at this point, you can argue that this is an official point where Sonic and Freddy Fazbear have canonically met. Steel Wool even posted this to their TikTok. That's about official as they can get. When will Five Nights at Freddy meet the Sonic Hog? So for some reason at the Sonic Symphony live events, during the intermission, they played non-Sonic music. And by non-Sonic music, I mean Plants vs. Zombies and Deltarune music. Why and how this happened, I have no idea, I wasn't there. And why/if they bothered to license them, I don't know either. But there's just videos of people sitting there and realizing, wait, why are they playing Deltarune right now? I paid for Sonic, damn it.
Alright, I'm looking for it. I think I got something. That's my egg roll.
In Sonic Frontiers, there was actually some unused versions of the enemies that were painted gold for some reason. None of these seem to be any unique models or characters, just some retextures of already existing enemies. And according to the director of the game, Morio Kushima, I'm not even gonna try that. The reason why they were cut is because of a size issue with the game's memory across different platforms. So aka the Switch sucked. They're still cool to see though.
Get your feet out your mouth!
So in the recent wave of Jack-specific Sonic figures, they re-released Knuckles with an updated look. However, on the back of the box, for some reason they messed up on the Photoshop job, considering that in one of the pictures, he has Sonic's arm for some reason. Like, the figure's arm has been replaced with the old Wave 1 Sonic's arm from the stock photo. How in God's name this happened, I have no remote idea. Why was Sonic's arm in the equation? But this definitely wasn't intentional, and I'm assuming they'll fix this up for future releases though, and if not, we riot.
Alright Jeffy, what do you say?
Piss off.
Here's a very obscure 3D model of classic Sonic that was used as a reference for drawing the covers of Fleetway Sonic. He's really goofy looking in hindsight, with his super chonky proportions and weirdly shaped shoes and socks. And we have multiple images of him doing some super cool duper epic poses. However, the funny part about this model is that it was made by Data Design Interactive. Yes, the people from Scott the Woz who made Ninja Breadman made this masterpiece. It all comes full circle.
It was Cody's mom.
If you went to Spirit Halloween anytime this year, you would have saw how much they promoted Sonic. The man had his own section and everything. However, something you may or may not have seen depending on what stores you went to, is that certain locations actually displayed Sonic on the front of the building, alongside other characters from various franchises. And even beyond that, something else I saw at one location was that on those little credit card keypads they have at the checkout desk, they cycle through different stock images from Spirit Halloween, and some of them included Sonic and Tails costumes. What an honor.
She's a woman!
Did you know that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is actually quite the Sonic fan? When Sonic was redesigned for the first movie, he made the following tweet. It proclaims his love for the Blue Road and ever since he loved playing Sonic in college. And according to Google, he graduated in 1995, meaning that he played the classic Genesis games all throughout his college education. And look at how far he's come. Going back to another Jack-specific box backing, you have the fact that on Rouge's box, there's a description of her character that has some very inaccurate and misleading information. It reads the following: leader of Team Dark, world-class jewel thief, fashion forward, and part-time government spy. If for some reason erroneously claims that she's the leader of Team Dark, which as we all know, that's goddamn Shadow's job. From what I read of IDW, I don't think that this was ever confirmed, or exists in any sort of current lore at all. I don't know, maybe there's some random one-shot I didn't buy because I live in the middle of nowhere where it got confirmed that Shadow got demoted or something. These MFs out here trying to take yet another thing from this man.
Hey Danny, I got the fucker's head.
According to Sega of America marketing director Alan Nilsson, in 1992, according to statistics that they gathered, they were able to claim that at the time, Sonic was apparently more recognizable with 6 to 11-year-olds than Mickey Mouse was. Now, there's not much concrete evidence I could find to prove this was the case. However, I wouldn't put it past Sonic to beat out Mickey at this time. Sonic 2 had just come out and the Disney Renaissance era was just only beginning. So I like to think that maybe this was true. I didn't see a Disney KB Toy Store $1,000 sweepstakes giveaway prize run.
Either you squirt this hot sauce in your eyes, I'm gonna make you watch Big Hero 6!
Okay, so here's what I'm putting here because I want to. In the Has-Been Hotel pilot, during the scene with the turf war where Angel and Cherry Bomb are fighting Serpentious, there's a part where Angel uses a rock to launch one of the Egg Boys into the air. And of course, it plays the spring sound effect from the Genesis games. A very simple Easter egg, but a neat one nonetheless. Finally, I bring up this franchise and it actually has to do with Sonic.
Junior, you killed Joseph over a pack of Hubba Bubba!
When Jack Pacific re-released the Green Hill Zone playset for the 30th anniversary, they done did a little goofly goof straight on the back of the box. Because for some reason they picture the 2.5-inch Wave 2 Sonic that's given the thumbs up, instead of the actual one that comes with the set being the Wave 1 one that has him pointing. I don't know what the hell Jax's deal is with messing up the backs of their boxes, but he needs to STOP!
Donkey, what did you do to my pizza?
So at AEW Dynamite, which is pretty much their version of Monday Night Raw, there have been multiple instances of people holding up signs in the crowd that relate to Sonic. Like for example, this chap who decided to make a sign that says, "Make a good Sonic game." Or these other examples of people asking him to remake Sonic Adventure 2, or Sonic Heroes. This of course comes after the Kane Carter Pop Goes plush was put on a sign at WWE SmackDown, but these instances are only coincidentally related.
I'm not hungry anymore, Chef BB.
What? You don't want any food, you sexy bastard?
I couldn't think of anything for number 19, so I'm gonna improv one. Let's see, looking around my room for stupid, random, nonsensical nonsense. Oh, here's one. Did you know that Pete Capella actually puts the little silver icon that's on his glove on his signature? Like the little turquoise circle with the line that's on Silver's palm? It's pretty neat. Damn, I pulled that one right out of my ass.
Mario, please!
And finally, our 200th useless Sonic fact. After 2 full seasons, we are here. And for this fact, it will be about how Sonic, as a franchise, has grossed over $12 billion across all games, merchandise, media, whatever. 12 bill. If you were to take all the money that Sonic has made over the past 32 years, it would be around the same amount of the entire GDP of the Bahamas. Or you could buy 6 of Carnival's Icon of the Seas, which is one of their biggest cruise ships they've ever made, coming out at $2 billion. But instead, we fund more important options such as this.
Hello? Hey.